Thank you very much for that explainer. Devang Mehta from Spark Private Wealth Management is now with us to discuss the market fundamentals. Devang, thank you very much for joining in. You know, the big story is telecom today, so I want to straight away get to that. Now, the question is, with the tariff hike was seen as a big catalyst for the stock price. And stocks have all, the news is out. The stocks had already run up in anticipation of a tariff hike. This week we've seen, a 4-5% up move for all the players which are involved. So what next? Do you think all the news is in the price? Because in terms of catalysts now, there isn't too much to look forward to which can drive returns.
Thanks, Reema, for having me on the show. Always a pleasure to be on CNBC-TV18. Yes, so I think the news, I think the street was widely anticipating a sort of a tariff hike. It was long overdue. I think the last hikes happened in 2021, and before that, if my memory serves me right, in 2019. So I think after around 3.5-4 years, this type of hike has come to the fore. And mostly what's happening is, you know that Sunil Mittal has been on record talking about the ARPUs being at 200 rupees stagnant for a long time. It took a lot of time to reach 200 rupees, and now from there on, to take it to 300 rupees to make this companies more sustainable and invest in future growth and future technology. So the sense one gets here is this market has sort of become oligopolistic, right? There are only 3 players, basically Bharti Airtel, Jio, both are in terms market leaders, and maybe a third distant Vodafone Idea. So sense one gets here is that part of it is in the price, but this improves their balance sheet. This also improves their operational efficiencies. And also this industry has a bit of tailwind after a lot of headwind. So the sense one gets here is that this is a positive, though the prices might have not reacted. But while we have seen the return of FIIs into large caps, there has been good buying seen across companies like Reliance, companies like Bharti. Yes, I think this seems a positive set of news, and probably stocks will react over time more on the positive side rather than on the negative side.
Okay, got that. So if stocks will react on the positive side rather than the negative side, Devang, if someone has missed out on the rally in telecom, is it still worth getting into it now, or do you think that a large part of the juice is already out of the of the stocks?
I think just for the sake of tariff hike, if somebody is wanting to take up exposure, I wouldn't advise that. But yes, on the strength of the business, on the merit of the business, on the future outlook, yes, telecom seems to be changing. The sense also is that the debt-laden balance sheets of a lot of these companies are also sort of coming down. The investments have happened. They are not further larger investments which look to be on the anvil. And as I said, the balance sheets are more or less now clean. So I think for a long-term perspective, maybe a 1 to 2.5 year perspective, Reliance on the merit of other businesses as well. Apart from Jio, the retail business doing well, even the traditional business has come back to the fore. So it seems like an interesting play. Even Bharti, as such, over the last few months have seen a bit of sort of upgrades in terms of earnings as well. So I think both these businesses look interesting if somebody is a long-term investor.
Okay, so what's the fresh idea, Devang, from Spark Private Wealth? You know, so many brokerages are coming up with new ideas, initiating coverages on stocks. Today you have MK on Man Industries. Earlier you had even Goldman Sachs coming out with many of these, travel plays, etc. What's new from Spark?
Yeah, so the work that we do over a period, yes, those main of stocks or sectors which I can talk about are more or less capex intensive. We have been talking very vocal about a lot of companies, a lot of the sectors, a lot of subsectors, themes. To make it specific, yes, we have been bullish on the energy efficiency theme. A company like Hitachi Energy, in capital goods companies like Siemens. There is a company in stamping and lamination, company called PT Engineering. These are the portfolio stocks. Of course, if you refer to, these are the stocks that we hold for our clients. These are no recommendations I'm not trying to make, but some of the companies that we still like are more or less into the capital goods, artificial intelligence. There are also companies, I can give certain new examples like air compressor or air solutions as a space. The complete market cap of this space, there are 3 companies which are listed, like Kirloskar Pneumatic, LG Equipment, and Ingersoll Rand. The collective market cap is roughly around 45,000 crore. Most of these companies have ROE, ROC exceeding 30-35%. And the business is growing at 17-18% revenues, and the PAT is growing at around 25-30%. So these are interesting spaces which are proxy plays. If you start anything to do with a warehouse or anything to set up a plant or an EMS or a foreign direct investment which is going to come to India as a manufacturing proxy, you need to be into energy efficiency. You need to be into this air solutions type of companies. Motion management is another sector which we are looking at. People call it bearings, but we call it more a motion management sector, where it's a very niche type of work. They make bearings, and they also have technology to how to lubricate these bearings as well, and how to monitor and track that.
I want to ask you your view on Polycab, because we've had this discussion through the day, right? It has been a huge wealth creator. I was looking at the last 5-year chart of Polycab. It's gone from 600 to almost 7,000. I mean, that's been a remarkable journey. Now the promoters selling part of their stake, just 2% of their stake, and they still own about over 60%. Do you think this is a reason to be concerned, or do you think it's just par for the course, promoters selling when liquidity is high? And would you continue to be bullish here?
Sonia, thanks for mentioning this. And on an ongoing basis, we have been generally bullish on this space, be it home improvement, be it FMEG, fast-moving electrical goods companies like Havells. Polycab has been on the top of our hunting list since long, and we have seen a lot of our clients' money sort of become 7x, 8x, 10x as well. But you made the relevant point that at this levels there will be some profit booking, right? The company had a fabulous quarter last quarter was a fabulous quarter, and the management commentary was also good. But it's appropriate that when you make 7, 8x, 10x profits, even the promoters would sort out some shave out some of the money that such a wealth has got created. Yes, so we also have sort of partially reduced our exposure in the past couple of months, but we still stay bullish on this space.
Okay, stay bullish on Polycab. Got that. I mean, look at the move there, right? This year itself, in the last 12 months, the stock has doubled. So you're saying that stay bullish on this stock, but you've reduced a little bit of your exposure over there. Okay, got that. Just wanted one final thought from your end on, a couple of these names in the banking space that have been big movers, right, lately. This week, I think if you look at the weekly move, we've had all your large movers are in the banking space. ICICI Bank is up 5% this week. You've had a couple like Axis Bank up about 5%. Is there still more to go on names like ICICI Bank?
I think, Sonia, this is a sector or a subsector, private banks particularly, which was a complete laggard over the last 2-3 years. If you take out any business like an HDFC Bank or an ICICI Bank, there was nothing wrong with the business. But the valuation catch-up that happened from PSU banks to private banks, or rather private banks to PSU banks, that was a catch-up that happened. Now, typically, if I can say that if FIIs have started to return, the foreign portfolio investors have started to return, and most importantly, when they return, they are going to come into this top 10, 15, 20 large cap businesses. I think there is going to be a plethora of money which will come here. Also, the valuations which they used to command earlier, they have come down. And I think this is a right time that a lot of sectors are coming back to the fore. A lot of underperforming sectors have come back. So I think banking will be no different. Companies like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank probably should see a good rally over the next couple of years.
Thank you very much, Devang, for joining in. We need to slip into a very short break on that note. We'll come back with more on the market. Stay tuned.